Good evening, everyone. Again, I'm Jay Fedick with BowlersNetwork here on Beck TV Plus, and today I'm going to welcome back Kelly Kulick. But before I do, I just want to make a statement that, as we all know, that sometimes some things over time kind of fade, some accomplishments over time fade, and others simply refine what's possible over time. And as we talked about in our last episode, the ceilings that Kelly broke. So now we're going to welcome Kelly back in, and we're going to talk about legacy. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Jay.
So, Kelly, your career, as I said in the first two episodes, kind of speak for itself. We've talked a little bit about the path that took you there. Now let's talk about tomorrow, the things that we haven't lived yet, and what does that mean to you? So let's talk about legacy. What does it mean to you kind of leave the sport in better hands, and how do you see doing that?
Oh, excellent question, Jay. Well, I think I'll have my hand dipped in slightly throughout the rest of my life, right? I mean, bowling's been a part of me for so long that I don't think I can ever walk away from it. I'll have a little, in the candy jar just a little bit. I mean, it definitely looks different. Obviously, as we get older, flexibility changes, endurance changes. The bowling ball starts to feel a little bit heavier, especially when you're lugging them back and forth to the airport. So I think. I'd like to see myself pursuing some of the senior events on the men's side and just see. I really, if I'm going to be ambitious, I'd like to have a professional national title on the PBA Tour and a national title on the PBA 50 Tour. So that would be something in the back of my mind that I would like to achieve. As a past member of Team USA, they have Senior Team USA, which you're at the age of 50, you qualify for. So I'd love to still compete for my country and represent the United States at that next level and bowl with some of the greats, Dana Aswick, Linda Barnes, just to name a few. So I do see myself still competing. As for the next generation and these up and comers, they are really fantastic. They are all their incredible coaching, the talent, the skill level. Maybe because of all the great coaches out there, the technology that's been available, YouTube videos, BowlersNetwork, something like what you offer, where they can really research and redefine who they are as a bowler and an athlete. So I feel like I'm gonna keep being involved. I'm still gonna commentate for the tour and USBC functions if they still allow me to. I feel like I give a lot of insight and educational material and knowledge when it comes to portraying the women in front of the camera. So I will be involved all the time, especially with the Junior Team USA program and staying involved there with coaching and passing the baton on. But eventually there's going to have to be another Kelly Kulick. There's going to have to be another Carolyn Doran Ballard and so forth. So who that next person's going to be, I'm not sure. But wow, you talk about the swimming pool full of possibilities. We used to have a shallow end, we just put our toe in, and the deep end was just something we thought about. And now the pool is filled with endless opportunities of the next Kelly Kulick and the next famous generation of female athletes.
I'm going to ask a question, but I'm going to endorse someone along the way as well. So collegiate bowling, I think, is very important. And the reason I say that is I think a lot of people don't quite understand how much college scholarship money is available for youth bowlers. Okay, and I think if they knew that, that would certainly grow the ranks of college bowling. And I want to shout out to a lady. Her name is Jasmine Monk. She has created this thing called the College Bowling Network. So I encourage you to go check that out. With that being said, Kelly, how do you see all of us getting involved, and maybe yourself as well, getting involved to grow those college ranks? What can we do?
Well, I do believe we're seeing an overflow of it finally. If you go back 10, 15 years, right, the first NCAA scholarship offered to a female athlete was Jennifer Doherty, who's now Jennifer Murphy at the University of Nebraska. So she really kicked it off with NCAA and all the coaches getting on board and pushing for it. Now there are more universities. Wichita University, for the longest time, was not involved. They're now NCAA. So I think when they start seeing these big Division I and II schools start to apply and become those NCAA schools, it opens even more doors for the younger women graduating from high school, moving on to the college ranks. College bowling is so important. It stems from junior gold program. from 12 to the 18-year-olds U22 event, how much we've grown every year within that competition nationwide. Then it goes into the colleges where there are full-time scholarships or partial academic and athletic scholarships offered. So not only are you able to pursue the opportunity of bowling for your university, you're getting a top-notch education along the way. Bowling is something you can do on a full-time level, but it's a really small percentage of people that have benefited from that, me being one of them. So go to the university, get that education, have it as a fallback if you need it, or as a full-time opportunity, and go bowl a few tour stops or regional events along the way to develop those skills. But we've seen it's slowly trickling in. We've seen the up push of the youngsters from that young group back in the early 2000s, 2010, and so forth. And now we're seeing it grow even more at the college and the collegiate bowlers flowing over into the professional events. I think we're still a little bit behind, but we're getting closer, maybe within the next 3 to 5 years, that parents will start to say, hey, there's all these bowling competitions going around locally and nationally. My young son or daughter can win smart money. I can use that smart money for college education and educational materials or advancement in a trade. But how about I keep bowling and doing it and get that education along the way? So they're all starting to click off the box and know what it needs to be a professional bowler or a college bowler. We're almost there. We're almost there. And if it keeps growing the way it does, then I think bowling has a bright future ahead of it professionally as well.
You know, that statement you made right there, I think is so profound. You know, for parents, and I was a parent of 3 young kids, and I was completely unaware of it. So I was out of the game of bowling for 25 years, and if I could go back, I'd redo something. But I was completely unaware, and I encourage every parent, go to bowl.com, right, and learn about smart scholarship. There is so much in there for the kids, and it's not about bowling, right? It's a pathway to scholarship for academic stuff. So don't think that I mean, if your kid's 8 years old, right? I mean, that is something that's so vital. With that, Kelly, I'm going to give you the last word, and I'm going to ask you if there's anything you want to add about the smart scholarship. But then at the end, I am going to ask you a question. So what would you encourage parents to do around that smart program, and what do you think it means?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head, Jay. Just exactly that. Compete in as many events as you can, right? The best experience is real-time experience. You can read it from a book, you can watch it on TV, but unless you're doing it, that's how you learn. So real-time experience is the best. You know, the entries are usually a little bit on the lower side, $30, $60 and so forth. Every little trickle helps along the way to build up that fun. One of my students right now, Anthony, she has over $60,000 or $70,000 in scholarship money. You know, the youth are so fortunate that SYCs have come, Elite Youth Bowlers Tour out in the Illinois area that Deandra Asbeatty, a past collegiate bowler, has started. You know, all the coaching ITRC centers and Kegel offer events around the year. So the opportunities are available. Just go research it. And as you said, bowl.com with their smart program, you know, you have so many years to use it. It starts at the age of 18 once you graduate high school. And it's not just college, it's trades, it's plumbers, it's electricians, it's educational material to use, computers, books, and stuff along the way. So don't just think it's just for paying the university their fee for all the credits you have to pay for. It's an endless opportunities to build a future through bowling.
So Kelly, in the last 30 seconds that we have left, I'm going to ask you the big question. When
Uh-oh.
somebody comes up to you, this is a big one, and we always end our show with this. When somebody comes up to you and says, Kelly Kulick, I look up to you and I consider you a difference maker, what does that mean to you?
It means my life was worth something. You know, my life was important. Everything I did, someone learned from my successes and my failures to be the next great person. I just saw a quote the other day, learn from the great and then be greater. So if they can learn from me, then they can be great. They can be great themselves.
Kelly, that's everything. That sums you up as a person. So I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day and showing up and being part of Difference Makers. So again, thank you, Kelly Kulick, for all you do and all you have done.
Thank you.